She said, "Stop acting like we're married. You don't get a say in where I go or who I'm with." Everyone laughed. I just smiled and stayed quiet. But when she came back from her weekend away, her tea didn't work. And the neighbor told her exactly why. My girlfriend Jessica and I have always disagreed about what relationships mean. I believe if you live in someone's home, eat their food, and use their Wi-Fi, you're in a partnership. She believes she's a celestial body, and I'm just a tiny, insignificant planet trapped in her gravity. We've been together 2 years. For the last 6 months, she's lived in my house. My name is on the mortgage. My name is on the bills. My name is even on the little plaque by the door, the Wilsons, which she bought without asking me, and now looks like an ironic joke. I'm easygoing. I like quiet. I work from home as a graphic designer. My idea of a wild Friday night, trying a new frozen pizza flavor. Jessica? Her life is a stage. Her audience, her 3 best friends, the cackling Greek chorus I call the harpies. Tiffany, Brittany, and let's call the third one, Chardonnay. Last weekend it all blew up. I was stirring pasta sauce when she walked in, phone to her ear, already dressed to leave. Loud, one-sided conversation with the harpies. Oh my God, yes, I'm so in. A weekend away is exactly what I need. No, he's not coming. Don't be ridiculous. She hung up, beaming. The girls and I are going to the lake. Leaving tomorrow. I hadn't heard a word until now. Oh, okay, I said, keeping my tone calm. Sounds fun. Which lake? Simple question. Normal person stuff. She stared at me like I'd asked her to recite Shakespeare in Sanskrit. She laughed sharp, dismissive, and turned to Tiffany, who had just arrived. Can you believe him? She said, rolling her eyes. He wants to know where I'm going. Tiffany looked me over like I was a broken appliance. Then Jessica turned back, hands on hips, and delivered the line that would haunt me. Stop acting like we're married. You don't get a say in where I go or who I'm with. The harpies now, gathered in my kitchen, burst into laughter. A full symphony of mockery. A man in his own home, asking where his girlfriend was going. Hilarious. I stood there, wooden spoon in hand, sauce dripping onto the floor. I didn't yell, didn't argue. A strange calm settled over me. The part of me trying to make this work? It packed its bags, put on a tiny hat, and quietly left. I looked at her smug face and smiled. Big, friendly, empty. You know what? I said, cheerful as ever. You're 100, right? My mistake. They laughed harder. Thought I was surrendering. She patted my cheek condescendingly. Then, they all swept out, off to cocktails and glitter. I stood alone in the kitchen. The sauce bubbled. Okay, I thought. New plan forming. Not married, no say. Got it. The weekend was going to be fun. Just not for her. Update 1. As soon as her car disappeared down the street, probably packed with glitter, rosé, and drama, I moved. First stop, Mrs. Gable's next door. Mrs. Gable. 80, sweet smile, prize-winning roses, and a neighborhood surveillance system more thorough than the NSA. I brought her lemon cake. Sat with her on the porch. Mrs. Gable, I said after small talk about squirrels and bad weather, I need your help. It's theater. I told her everything. Her exact words. Stop acting like we're married. She didn't need embellishment. The truth was enough. That shameless little hussy, she declared, patting my hand with fury. Leave it to me. I gave her a script. When Jessica returned, locked out, Mrs. Gable would act confused and drop the truth like a bomb. She took to it like a veteran actress. Back home, I began Operation Bachelor Pad Resurrection. For 6 months, my house had been a beige wasteland. Soulless pillows, empty decorative bowls, art that looked like a printer died mid-job. Time to reclaim it. I didn't just pack her things. I curated them. Box 1. Everyday clothes. Box 2. Fancy outfits for nights I wasn't invited to. Box 3, my favorite. Magic sparkly dresses that shed glitter like confetti from a cursed wedding. Her 37 pairs of identical heels. Podiatrist's nightmare. Her mountain of skincare and makeup. Face paint, various goops. By Saturday morning, every trace of her was boxed up. I hired movers. loaded it all into a 10x5 storage unit, paid for 1 month a generous, non-marital gesture. Then came the real transformation. I rolled up the beige rug, replaced it with AstroTurf that looked like a football field, sold her sterile white couch, bought a massive black leather recliner with 16 cup holders. Her minimalist coffee table? Gone. In its place, a vintage pinball machine I found on Craigslist. It didn't work, but it lit up. That was enough. Bedroom next. Took down her weird macrame wall hanging, replaced it with a framed poster. A grizzly bear catching a salmon mid-leap. Perfect. Final move, Saturday afternoon. I went to the animal shelter. An hour later, I came home with Gus, a 120-pound St. Bernard. Furry, drooling, lovable chaos. He immediately claimed the new sofa, snored like a lumberjack, and never once asked for permission. The house was no longer a showroom for passive existence. It was a fortress of unapologetic bachelorhood. I played fetch with Gus, drank beer straight from the bottle, changed all passwords, new Wi-Fi name, get your own Wi-Fi, password, not married lol. Sunday night, I sat on my 16-cup holder throne, Gus's giant head in my lap, waiting. The storm was coming, and for the first time in years, I felt ready. Update to 9 p.m. Sunday. Doorbell notification. There she was, tan from the lake, humming. Comedy began instantly. She tried her key. It slid in but wouldn't turn. New deadbolt. Installed that morning. Jiggled, tried again. Exasperated sigh. Started banging. From the couch, Gus lifted his head, let out a deep, rumbling woof, then went back to sleep. She called me. Phone vibrated on the pinball machine. I sipped my beer. Hit decline. Called again. Declined. 5 times. Banging got louder. Tom, open the door. What is wrong with you? Silence. This was the show. After 10 minutes of escalating frenzy, she gave up, pacing, running hands through hair. Then, click, Mrs. Gable's porch light flicked on. Showtime. Jessica, dear, Mrs. Gable called, voice dripping with neighborly concern, watering can in hand. Oh, thank God. Jessica rushed over. I can't get in. My key doesn't work. Is Tom home? I see the lights. He's home, Mrs. Gable said, nodding sagely. Had the most wonderful weekend. A real transformation. Transformation? What are you talking about? Well, Mrs. Gable leaned forward conspiratorially. He told me the good news. You two aren't married. He said he doesn't get a say in anything you do. So he decided to celebrate his freedom. He redecorated the whole house. It's a man's home now, very rugged. Jessica stared, mouth open. And the best part? Mrs. Gable grinned. He got a dog. A big, beautiful boy named Gus. Said he wanted a companion who's loyal and doesn't talk back. Isn't that sweet? Jessica slowly turned, stared through my window, her face pressed against the glass, eyes wide. Took in the football field rug, the glowing pinball machine. Gus sprawled across her former spot on the sofa. Let out a sound between scream and sob. Fumbled for her phone. Texts flooded in. All caps. All rage. That's when I replied. One text. You said to stop acting like we're married. You said I don't get a say. I agree. This is my house. You don't get a say in how I live in it. Since we're not married, I've stored your non-marital property. Address: 123 Storage Way, Unit 42. Code: 1234. You have 1 month. Have a great life. Then I blocked her. On camera, I watched her read it. Looked at phone, looked at window, looked back at phone, then screamed. Pure, unfiltered rage. Threw her phone onto my lawn, ranted for 10 more minutes. Tiffany pulled up. Collected her. Update 3. Predictable social media campaign followed. Sad music. Vague posts about toxic men and knowing your worth. Pathetic. I let it run for 2 days. Then I dropped the bomb. No direct reply. Just a private post visible only to mutual friends. Photo album. First image. My living room 6 weeks ago. Beige couch. Empty bowls. Lifeless. Caption. Before. Second image, now. Leather sofa, astroturf, glowing pinball machine. Gus sprawled like a king. Caption, after. Third image, me and Gus, smiling. Happy. Caption, decided to redecorate based on my new relationship status. Was reminded I'm not married and don't get a say in things, so I embraced my freedom. Bachelor pad dog is my capital non-saniste nuclear. The pettiness, the absurdity, the sheer cuteness of Gus. My friends lost it, the story spread. People who'd sympathized with Jessica now saw the truth. The narrative shifted. Not crazy boyfriend kicks out girlfriend, but girlfriend tells boyfriend their relationship means nothing, and he actually believes her. The harpies went silent. It's hard to play victim when the villain is posting pictures of his drooling, majestic dog. Jessica crashed with Tiffany. Didn't last a week. Tiffany got tired of her complaining and not paying rent. Ended up moving back in with her parents, 3 hours away. She sent a lawyer letter, demanded access to the house, demanded compensation for being made homeless. My lawyer responded with, copy of mortgage, only my name. Lease, only my name. Polite question. Will Jessica be reimbursing me for 6 months of rent, utilities, and food? We never heard from her lawyer again. The funniest moment? About a month ago. At the dog park, Gus chasing tennis balls like a furry tornado. I was chatting with another owner. A woman approached hesitantly. Chardonnay. She looked miserable. Hey, Tom, she said, and I wanted to say I'm sorry about that night. We were out of line. I shrugged. She said what she said. I took her at her word. I know, she sighed. She's a lot. Called me last week, complaining her parents made her get a job. Blamed you for ruining her life. She paused. Looked at Gus now, attempting to fit 3 tennis balls in his mouth at once. Honestly, she said, you look fine. And she was right. I am. The house isn't a beige prison anymore. It's mine. The pinball machine still doesn't work, but it's a perfect conversation starter. And Gus? Best roommate I've ever had. Loyal. Funny. Never complains about my cooking. I learned something. The best revenge isn't some grand scheme. It's listening. Believing people when they tell you who they are. Jessica told me exactly what our relationship meant to her. I just decided to agree. She said, you don't get a say. So now in her life, I truly don't. And in mine, she doesn't either. And with a giant drooling dog by my side, it's the happiest ending I could have asked for.